Hey guys, so I wanted to talk about one of my favorite literary protagonists, which is Bilbo Baggins from The Hobbit. And the main reason I wanted to discuss him and why I was just thinking about this is just because he's such a relatable, interesting character. I just think of, at the beginning of the book when he's so nervous and fussy and cares so much about doing exactly what everyone expects him to and not wanting to deviate from that at all. Oh, quick warning, there will be some minor spoilers for the books here, or specifically this book, and by the end of the book, he doesn't care. And by the time you get to Lord of the Rings, he's basically does not care what anyone thinks about literally anything. He actually enjoys shocking other people when Lord of the Rings starts. He disappears for the first time with the ring in front of everyone and goes back to his house and is laughing to himself. But oh, that was fun! Did you see their faces? And I think the best description we have is in the first chapter of The Hobbit. The narrator is talking about Bilbo's parents, Belladonna and Bungo. And it's talking about how Belladonna, was from a family of adventurers, and she went on adventures, but, of course she didn't once she married Bungo Baggins, who is so respectable. Still, it is probable that Bilbo, her only son, although he looked and behaved exactly like a second edition of his solid and comfortable father, got something a bit queer in his makeup from the Tookish side, something that only waited for a chance to come out. The chance never arrived until Bilbo Baggins was grown up, being about 50 years old or so, and living in a beautiful hobbit hole built by his father, which I've just described for you, until he had in fact apparently settled down immovably. The book starts in just such a perfect way for Bilbo. He's just sitting in front of his hobbit hole, smoking his pipe, relaxing, literally has no concept of going anywhere apart from his home for the rest of his life. And, I think it's the next morning, he's suddenly on an adventure. And he is never the same again. One thing that the movies, I think, did get right was the scene where Bilbo asks Gandalf, you promise I will come back, and Gandalf just says no, and if you do, you won't be the same. Because that's a very, very apt description of what happens to Bilbo in these books. And I think probably the moment that kind of shows his change the best, and yes, this is going to be later in the book, so not a huge spoiler again, but still technically a spoiler. When they're standing outside the Misty Mountain, or Erebor, waiting to go inside, and Thorin decides that he's going to send Bilbo in, because that's why they brought Bilbo. So this is Thorin talking. Now is the time for our esteemed Mr. Baggins, who has proved himself a good companion on our long road, and a hobbit full of courage and resource far exceeding his size, and if I may be so possessed of good luck far exceeding the usual allowance. Now is the time for him to perform the service for which he was included in our company. Now is the time for him to earn his reward, capital R. And then the narrator says, "You are familiar with Thorin's style on important occasions, so I will not give you any more of it. Though he went on a good deal longer than this. It certainly was an important occasion, but Bilbo felt impatient. By now he was quite familiar with Thorin too, and he knew what he was driving at. If you mean to think it is my job to go into the secret passage first, O Thorin Thrain's son Oakenshield, may your beard grow ever longer," he said crossly. "Say so at once and have done. I might refuse. I have gotten you out of 2 messes already, which were hardly in the original bargain, and so that I am, I think, already owed some reward. But 3rd time pays for all, as my father used to say, and somehow I don't think I shall refuse." He would never have dared interrupt Thorin when the book started. He wouldn't have interrupted anyone, but especially not Thorin. So it's really funny watching him step in and basically just be like, okay, just stop, no. I know we are going, just stop talking. I know you too well think this is going to end anytime soon. Which, to be fair, that is very much Thorin in the books. Thorin is more than a little self-important. I love him, but he is. So it's very, very entertaining watching Bilbo change from this nervous, scared little hobbit into this very, very self-assured, independent older hobbit. And then in Lord of the Rings it's even funnier when you see, well, and sadder, depending on which way you look at it. You see how he's changed even more over the years. And it's just, I'm rambling a lot here, but he's one of my favorite characters. And yeah, I like him more now than I did when I first read the book, but I liked him then too. So yeah, thanks for listening everybody. I will see you all later.